Advocate and his friends are producing audio podcasts aimed at teaching ordinary people about the law. Called Just Law, they are also crowdfunding for people who want to take legal action. Joining us to talk about this is Advocate Lunga, Siyo himself. Very good afternoon to, good morning to you, Advocate.
Morning.
What prompted you to start Just Law?
So the irony about South Africa is that, notwithstanding the fact that we have a progressive constitution that purports to protect everyone's rights, the difficulty is that people can't enforce their rights because they can't afford legal expenses. And I mean, as a lawyer, I can attest myself that I wouldn't be able to afford myself. The second difficulty that we have is that people simply do not know their rights, and that is informed by the inaccessibility of legal information. So we've started this platform to provide individuals, communities and organizations a platform where they can raise legal expenses relating to their cases. We've also started the podcast component, and that is also intended to be informative and interactive, where we cover a variety of legal issues that affect South Africans on a day-to-day basis.
I'm interested in the criteria that you use to decide which matters you assist with.
Well, it's really the type of case that is suitable for this type of funding are generally what you refer to as public interest matters. In other words, cases that don't just affect an individual, but cases that could have an impact on society in general. So, for instance, if you're a person who lives in Johannesburg, one of the big issues that people have is the water billing issue, right? So if you're able to challenge that, it is something that will be able to have an impact not just on you, but on community in general within Johannesburg. So that would give people who are equally affected by the water billing crisis that we are currently faced with an opportunity to support your case, with the hope that that will also resolve their own personal issues.
And I know you were involved in the Kolobeni case, the mining issue, a few years ago.
Yes.
Was that also part of your passion for working with previously disadvantaged communities, many of them, in fact, still very much disadvantaged when you look at Kolobeni, a rural community where many would not have expected that they'd be able to put up such a strong fight against the government and a big mining company?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that type of matter tests to the passion that I have of trying to ensure that we use law to bring about tangible differences in people's lives. So that is one of many other cases that I've worked that are of a community-related nature, and that also really provide access to justice to people. So I was involved in that case during my time as in-house counsel at the Legal Resources Centre, their Constitutional Litigation Unit, and that is, for instance, just an example of what is possible when people who want to use the law to bring effective change in people's lives can do, because that has yielded benefits to the people of Kolobeni.
Let's speak then, Advocate Siyo, about the crowdfunding
Yes.
element of your work. A lot of people not very trusting in these modern times. Are you finding that South Africans are generally willing to come up and say, look, if this is a crowdfunding initiative, here's how much I'm willing to do to assist a particular community, or aid with other resources that would allow you as a legal team to be able to move a matter forward?
You need to understand that the crowdfunding is a relatively new concept, not just to South Africa, but globally. So we also have an obligation to ensure that we teach and inform South Africans about the benefits that can accrue from using a platform of this nature. Let me give an example. We currently have a case that is running. We launched that case on the 25th of January, all right? To date, we've been able to raise about 4,800 rand. People have contributed, money of various amounts. And I think that slowly, as we begin to inform South Africans and as they also begin to understand the benefits that accrue from using a platform of that nature, then I think that things are starting to come together slowly but surely.
We're almost out of time, but how do people who want either your assistance or who want to contribute to help you move forward some of these matters get hold of you?
Yeah, so we have a website, www.justlawcf.co.za. You can also find it on Twitter at Just SA Law. There's also a platform on Facebook, Just Law. And that's where you can generally get in touch with us in order for you to see how the platform works and
the
how...
podcasts are on there as well.
The podcasts are also there. We've had a variety of podcasts. We've covered issues relating to domestic violence, maintenance, harassment, the Constitutional Court judgment on the Dacha case. We've also covered issues relating to racism. So we look at it as a going concern. We try to cover that. We try to cover issues that affect South Africans on a day-to-day basis.
Advocate Lunga, Siyo, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much for having me.